Hey guys, I didn't want to reinvent the wheel, so Kirkweiler has the exact same video for this lesson up until this point, exercise 3C. So you'll be watching the Kirkweiler part first, and then we'll finish it up here. So part C says we're doing polynomial long division, so we got to do 3x to the fourth plus 2x squared minus 5 divided by x plus 2. So if you're going to try this one along with me, which you should be, I'm going to do this one on a separate sheet of paper because it requires a little bit more work than the space that was provided. All right, so I'm going to do that here. Okay, we have, this is 3C. We have to do 3x to the fourth divided by x plus 2. And we're dividing that into 3x to the fourth plus 2x squared minus 5. Okay. All right. So we got to figure out what are we multiplying by x plus 2 in order to get this? Okay. So we're dividing. So first things first. My first term here is an x. What can I multiply this x by to get 3x to the fourth power? How about 3x to the third, right? 3x to the third times x is 3x to the fourth. That's good. Now we have to multiply it by the 2. 3x to the third times 2 would be 6x to the third. Positive 6x to the third. All right. Now we're subtracting this entire thing. 3x to the fourth minus 3x to the fourth. That cancels each other out. Okay. 2x squared minus 6x to the third. I cannot combine these because they have different exponents. All right. So since I can't combine these, I'm going to bring this negative 6x to the third power down. And I'm going to bring this positive 2x squared down. All right. This is 6x to the third. Oh, I'm sorry, negative 6x to the third plus 2x squared. And now we're going to go back up to the top. All right. What can I multiply times this x to get negative 6x to the third power? It would probably be negative, definitely a 6, and then in order to get x to the third, I would need to multiply x by x squared. So negative 6x squared times x should be negative 6x to the third. That's good. We want these to match. Then we have to do negative 6x squared times 2, which would be negative 12x squared. All right. Remember, we're subtracting this entire thing here. All right. So negative 6x to the third minus negative 6x to the third. Remember, minus a negative is really plus a positive. So if I add these two things together, they would cancel out. That's why we do this. Okay. This is minus. I did the plus the positive just to show you. Okay. I don't want to confuse anybody. Now I have to do 2x squared minus negative 12x squared. Same thing, plus a positive, right? So 2x squared plus 12x squared is 14x squared. All right. Remember, this turns it into a plus a positive. Okay, now I'm just going to bring down my negative 5. Right? I used everything else up, yeah. Bring down my negative 5. Okay, and last but not least, now I have to figure out, I'm all done with my terms up here. Now I just have to figure out what would I multiply this x by to get 14x squared. 14x, I think, right? All right. Because 14x times x is 14x squared. Okay. And then I have to do 14x times 2. That would be 28x. That's a positive 20x. And remember, we're subtracting this entire thing here. 14x squared minus 14x squared. That's good. It cancels. Negative 5 and negative 28x. I cannot combine these. Okay. So I'm just going to bring them down. This is a negative 28x. This is a negative 5. So I have negative 28x. Minus 5. All right. Now, what can I multiply this x by in order to get negative 28x? I think it would be negative 28, right? Negative 28 times x is negative 28x. And then I have to do negative 28 times positive 2, which is negative 56. Okay, and remember I'm subtracting this entire thing. Negative 28x minus negative 28x, that's good, it cancels. And negative 5 minus negative 56, so that's really plus 56. That would be just 51, I think. Okay. So, since I'm done with all my terms up here, I can't bring anything else down. This is my remainder, 51. Okay? So they want us to write our answer in the form of where we're adding the remainder over the divisor. Okay, so my final answer is going to be, this is my quotient, 3x to the third minus 6x squared plus 14x minus 28. Okay, 3x to the third minus 16x squared plus 14x minus 28. And then they want us to write our remainder. We're adding our remainder over the divisor, so that would be 51 over x plus 2. This would be our answer here. I know this is kind of tricky and it's tough to teach you this over the internet, but we'll do a couple more practice ones, and then you'll have some practice to do for the homework. I know there's a lot of steps involved, but we're basically doing the same exact thing that you were taught in elementary school, except now we're doing it with variables. All right. Part D, there should be plenty of room here for us to do, so I'm just going to do it right here on the paper. We have to do x squared plus 2x minus 5 divided by x minus 3. All right. So first things first, we take a look here. We're saying, what can I multiply x by in order to get x squared? I think that's just good old x, because x times x is x squared. And now I have to do x times negative 3, which is negative 3x. And remember, I'm subtracting this entire thing. X squared minus x squared, they cancel, that's good. 2x minus negative 3x, that's really 2x plus 3x, which is 5x. Bring down my negative 5. Okay. Okay, now we go back up to the top. What can I multiply x by in order to get 5x? I think just plus 5, right? 5 times x is 5x, that's good. And then 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. And remember, we're subtracting this entire thing. 5x minus 5x cancels, that's good. Negative 5 minus negative 15, so that's really negative 5 plus 15, which is 10. So this is our remainder, this is our quotient, okay? So our answer is just x plus 5 plus the remainder, 10, over the divisor, x minus 3. And that would be our answer for that one. Okay. All right, a couple of more. We have the quotient remainder theorem. Okay, so all this is saying is that if I have a product, okay, that's going to be the quotient, some function, times the divisor, which is some other function, plus the remainder. Okay, and the degree of the remainder is less than the degree of the divisor. All right, that looks a little bit more convoluted than it really is. Okay, so it just says, for the following, find q of x and r of x. Well, what does q of x stand for? Q of x just stands for, what's the quotient? Like the answer, like this was the quotient of our of part D. Okay, this part here was the quotient for part C. This part is r of x. This is the remainder. This part over here was r of x. This is the remainder. Okay. Okay, so They want us to find the quotient and the remainder. That's all they're asking for. All right. So we have to do this mess divided by this mess. So I'm running out of room here. We have to do 2x plus 1. And we're dividing that into 6x to the third minus 9x squared plus 8x plus 1. All right. First things first, what can I multiply 2x by in order to get 6x to the third? That's going to go right here. I think it's just 3x squared, right? 3x squared times 2x would be 6x to the third, if I'm not mistaken. And then I got to do 3x squared times 1, which is 3x squared. All right. Remember, I'm subtracting this entire thing. Okay, so this negative is distributed in here. This is 6x to the third minus 6x to the third. That cancels. Negative 9x squared minus 3x squared. So, well, that would be negative 12x squared. All right. Bring down your next term, which in this case is an 8x. All right. Now I'm going back up here. What can I multiply 2x by in order to get negative 12x squared? Well, we're definitely going to need to multiply by a negative 6 and also an x, right? Negative 6x times 2x would give me negative 12x squared. That's good. All right, then we just have to multiply the negative 6x times the 1. We get negative 6x. And then just remember, we're subtracting this entire thing. All right, negative 12x squared minus negative 12x squared. That's good. It cancels. 8x minus negative 6x. So that's really 8x plus 6x, which would be 14x. Bring down your next term, which is a 1. All right. And now go back up to the top. What can I multiply what can I multiply 2x by in order to get 14x? That's going to go right here. Well, what times 2x gives me 14x? I think just a 7. 7 times 2x is 14x. 7 times 1 is 7. And remember, we're subtracting the entire thing. 14x minus 14x cancels. 1 minus 7 is negative 6. And we ran out of terms up here, so this is our remainder. So that's our r of x. R stands for remainder. Q of x stands for quotient. Okay, so they want to know what's the quotient, what's the remainder. The quotient is whatever's up here. The remainder is whatever's down here. So how would we write our answer? I'm going to kind of try and sneak it in right here. Our quotient equals, what's up here? 3x squared minus 6x plus 7. 3x squared minus 6x plus 7. That's our quotient. And what's our remainder? Well, that's what was left. Whoops. That's what was left down here. So our r of x is just negative 6. All right. Last one. All right. Oh, Regents question. All right. Last one. Let's do it. We have to divide this mess by this mess.